For weeks, we have been watching the triumphant return of our beloved police chief, Anna Devane. Her reinstatement was supposed to bring order to a chaotic police department, but something isn't adding up anymore. The facade of control is cracking, the heroic posture is faltering, and a massive, terrifying secret is hiding in plain sight. We all know that the human mind can be an incredibly fragile thing, especially after enduring the kind of unimaginable trauma and psychological manipulation that Anna suffered at the hands of Ross Cullen. But what if the trauma hasn't ended? What if the nightmare is just beginning to take a physical form? A new detail could expose the truth about what is truly happening behind those closed doors at the PCPD. And guys, it points to a catastrophic event that is going to rock the entire canvas to its core. We may be looking at a situation where the seasoned hunter completely loses her grip on reality and becomes a lethal danger to everyone around. The tension in town is palpable, and if you ask me, the writers are meticulously leaving breadcrumbs that lead directly to a bloody, chaotic disaster. We are not just talking about a minor emotional breakdown or a few sleepless nights. We are talking about a full-scale psychological collapse that threatens the lives of innocent bystanders. The whispers in the dark, the unseen manipulative forces, the ghosts of the past refusing to stay buried, it is all coming to a head in the most dangerous way possible. Someone is about to snap, and the collateral damage is going to be absolutely unprecedented. The pieces on the chessboard are moving into position for a checkmate that no one, not even the players themselves, can see coming. Let me tell you, when this impending bomb drops, nothing will ever be the same again for the legacy characters involved. Let us zero in on a very specific, easily overlooked detail that changes the entire context of this story. We have to talk about that explosive, highly emotional encounter at General Hospital between our struggling police chief, Anna, and Britt Westbourne. You all saw the intense outburst. You saw Britt's frustration, the demands for compassion, and the sheer volatility of that interaction. But what if that wasn't just a dramatic hospital spat over scheduling or past grievances? What if that specific moment of lost temper was the exact trigger needed for a sinister hallucination to take complete control of Anna's mind? We know that the ghost of Peter August, a man who caused endless suffering and manipulated Anna for years, is currently haunting her every waking moment. That hallucination is not just a passive memory playing on a loop. It is an active, aggressive voice demanding blood and vengeance. That is where things become incredibly interesting. The hallucination of Peter August is using that hospital outburst as psychological ammunition against Anna. It is whispering toxic, murderous commands, twisting a simple moment of anger into a twisted justification for lethal revenge. The clue here is the targeted fixation. The hallucination has chosen to target Britt Westbourne, and it is actively pushing our beloved veteran agent into a cold-blooded murder plot. But the mind is a terrifyingly unreliable narrator when it is fractured by deep-seated trauma. The vision of the enemy becomes blurred and distorted. The voice in Anna's head is screaming for vengeance, pushing her to eliminate the perceived threat, but her eyes might not be seeing reality anymore. If you ask me, this specific psychological break is the catalyst for the ultimate tragedy. The hallucination is driving the vehicle, and the brakes have completely failed. Now, let us connect these terrifying dots. If this hallucination is successfully pushing Anna toward a murder plot, we have to look at the other moving pieces on the canvas to see who might accidentally step into the line of fire. We have another character who is currently spiraling out of control, living in a state of absolute panic and paranoia, Willow Kane. Willow is currently dealing with a spiked drink courtesy of Jacinda Bracken. She is woozy, chemically impaired, and desperately trying to keep her life from imploding while attempting to wrangle her children, Wiley and Amelia. She is juggling a massive hit-and-run frame job orchestrated by Brooklyn Quartermain, secretly hiding the dangerous fugitive Jen Sidwell in her home, and dealing with a recovering Drew Kane whom she desperately wants to keep quiet. What if these two unstable, chaotic orbits collide? If Anna's hallucination is demanding blood, and this impaired, panicked Willow crosses her path in the wrong place at the wrong time, the results could be fatal. It may not be a coincidence that both of these women are reaching their absolute breaking points at the exact same moment in time. One is being driven mad by the ghost of her past, completely detached from reality and armed with lethal skills, while the other is chemically impaired, paranoid, and fighting a desperate battle to maintain her freedom and protect her family. If you ask me, the writers are meticulously placing them on a collision course. Think about the geography of Port Charles. Think about the dark corners, the isolated parking garages, the shadowy corridors where a woozy Willow might stumble while trying to escape her own demons. If our hallucinating police chief goes hunting for her intended target, her fractured mind might completely betray her. She might see the face of her enemy, Britt Westbourne, superimposed on the face of a completely different woman. The dots connect perfectly to a scenario of tragic, terrifying, mistaken identity. That is the exact moment the puzzle pieces snap together in the most horrifying way imaginable. If the hallucination of Peter August screams attack, Anna's physical response will be immediate, instinctual, and highly lethal. We are talking about a former WSB operative who knows exactly how to take down a threat with ruthless efficiency. But because her brain is misfiring on every cylinder, the threat she perceives is entirely fabricated. She is looking at a young, woozy mother who is just trying to make it to her car, but her broken mind is telling her it is the doctor who dared to disrespect. This could explain a lot about the upcoming spoilers hinting at a massive medical emergency that rocks the hospital. It explains why the trajectory of the current storylines feels so incredibly volatile and unpredictable. The tension is a rubber band pulled to its absolute limit, and when it finally snaps, the whiplash is going to take out everyone in its path. Guys, here is the massive canvas-shaking theory that I believe is about to unfold right before our eyes. Our police chief is not going to attack Britt Westbourne. The hallucination of Peter August is going to push Anna Devane over the edge, but in her blinded, psychotic state, she is going to attack the wrong woman. She is going to mistakenly target Willow King. This is the big reveal, the shocking twist that changes the entire landscape of the show and derails everything we thought was going to happen. Anna, completely lost in the delusion crafted by Peter's ghostly voice, will genuinely believe she is taking out the threat she was commanded to eliminate. She will strike with deadly force. But the woman she corners, the woman she physically assaults in the shadows, will be Willow. Imagine the sheer terror of that scene playing out on our screen. Anna, moving with lethal precision, her eyes completely devoid of sanity and recognition, lunging at a woman who is already stumbling and impaired from a spiked drink. But here is the secondary twist that makes this theory so incredibly compelling. Willow Kane is not going to just stand there and be a helpless victim. Despite being woozy, despite being overwhelmed by her own massive secrets and the threat of prison, Willow's survival instinct is going to kick in with a vengeance. She has Wiley and Amelia to think about. She has her freedom to fight for. When Anna attacks, Willow is going to fight back with everything she has left in her tank. We are not looking at a simple one-sided assault. We are looking at a brutal, chaotic, and bloody physical struggle between two desperate women fighting for entirely different reasons. The bigger question is, how far will they go before someone intervenes or before they both collapse from their injury? Because if you ask me, this fight is going to leave both of them severely wounded. Anna might have the tactical advantage and the combat training, but her mind is broken, making her reckless and unpredictable. Willow is impaired by whatever Jacinda slipped into her drink, but adrenaline and sheer maternal desperation will make her a formidable, wild opponent. The struggle will be a messy, tragic display of two characters completely unraveling in the dark. Willow will sustain severe injuries from the initial unexpected ambush, but in her frantic attempts to defend herself and escape, she is going to inflict serious damage on Anna as well. It is going to be a bloodbath of mistaken identity and desperate self-preservation that leaves them both broken. If this theory is true, the aftermath is going to be absolute chaos, and it is going to completely derail the expected storyline trajectory for Anna Devane. Everyone expects Anna to be swiftly carted off to Ferncliff or another high-security mental health facility once her dangerous hallucinations are finally exposed. But if this brutal fight happens, Ferncliff is going to have to wait. After a violent struggle of this magnitude, both Anna and Willow are going to be rushed directly to the emergency room at General Hospital. The psychiatric evaluation and the institutionalization will be put on an indefinite hold because the trauma surgeons, led by the newly arrived doctor, Tristan Roberts, are going to have to save their lives first. The severe physical injuries will take absolute precedence over the mental breakdown, creating a massive roadblock in the narrative. This delay is a brilliant narrative device by the writer. Having both Anna and Willow lying in hospital beds, battered and broken, creates a localized epicenter of intense drama right in the middle of general. The doctors, the detectives, the frantic family members, everyone will be converging on the ICU, demanding answers that neither woman might be able to provide. Anna might still be lost in her dangerous hallucinations, raving about Peter August and Britt Westbourne, completely unaware of what she actually did. Meanwhile, Willow might be slipping in and out of consciousness, terrified and confused about why the police chief of Port Charles suddenly tried to murder her in cold blood. The suspense will be drawn out, agonizingly slow, as the rest of the canvas tries to piece together the forensic evidence of a brutal fight that makes absolutely no logical sense to anyone on the outside. Furthermore, this bloody incident will serve as the undeniable, tragic proof that Anna Devane is suffering from a catastrophic psychological break. There will be no more hiding it from Valentine Cassadine, no more covering it up at the PCPD, and no more pretending she is fine. The massive secret she has been keeping, the fact that Peter August is living in her head and dictating her actions, will all be exposed in the harsh fluorescent lighting of the hospital. Her career as police chief, her stellar reputation, and her freedom will all hang in the balance as the terrifying reality of her hallucinations becomes a matter of public record. But she won't be the only one facing intense scrutiny. Willow Kane is going to wake up to a nightmare of interrogation. The police, likely led by Harrison Chase, are going to want to know exactly what led up to the attack. That is where things become incredibly dangerous for Willow Kane. As the doctors treat her trauma, they are bound to run routine toxicology screens. They will inevitably discover the spiked drink in her system. This will lead to a cascade of uncomfortable questions. Why was she impaired? What was she doing right before the attack? As the investigators dig into Willow's timeline to understand the context of the assault, they might accidentally stumble upon her other massive, closely guarded secret. Will they find out she is hiding the dangerous fugitive Jen Sidwell in her home? Will they uncover her desperate plots against Drew Kane and her dealings with Jack Brennan? Will the investigation prove she was framed by Brooke Lynn, or will it make her look even more guilty? The investigation into Anna's psychotic break might be the exact thing that accidentally unravels Willow's entire house of cards. The collateral damage of this mistaken identity attack will be astronomical for everyone involved. We may be looking at the beginning of something truly huge, guys. The truth could be closer than anyone realizes, and the impending explosion is going to leave deep scars that will never fully heal. Someone may not be ready for what's coming next, because when the dust settles, two of Port Charles's most prominent women will be fighting for their lives in hospital beds, bound together by a tragic misunderstanding and a ghost that refuses to die. The fallout will ripple through the police department, the hospital, and the most powerful families in town. Keep your eyes peeled, because the shadows in this town are getting darker, and the monsters are no longer hiding under the bed. They are living right inside their heads, and they are demanding a very heavy toll.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.